everybody out there. Happy New Year, Conrad.
Yes, likewise. Today we have a new sponsor. Palm Springs Point of View is brought to you by Tech Palm Springs.
That's right, Conrad. You know, how many times do you sit around and your Wi-Fi's not working? Then your computer goes down.
Why does it
and you can't see what's on your TV because things are not connected right, or you got too much junk going on that needs to be cleaned up to create true smart home.
That's my life. I need Tech Palm Springs.
Okay, everyone needs Tech Palm Springs. Here we are, another year.
Ooh, we are ready to roll. And you know what's really good is that right now we have a lot of our international followers here in the desert, because of course this is the time to be in the desert.
And also this is the film festival, the Palm Springs International Film Festival. Wow, were there a lot of stars in town.
Wow, and I think of all the star sightings that I've seen pictures of, it has to be the 80s for Brady's folks. Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, Sally Fields, Rita Moreno, they were all here, and that must have been great to see them live talking.
I know, not to mention Steven Spielberg, Kate Blanchett, Brendan Fraser, let's see who else, Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean,
they were all here.
I feel like more were here this year than ever. Would that be true?
I think everyone's ready to get out. They were ready to get back into the system again.
That's probably right. Well, we have a lot to cover today, too.
Exactly.
We have a very special guest, which is Deborah Hovel, and we'll talk more about that. If you're in Palm Springs, you know all about those Hovels.
And you're into crafting, right?
Yes, definitely. A lot of talent, a lot of creativity. And Conrad, speaking of movies, you have some Academy Award ties here.
Academy Award and SAG Award films. I'm going to talk about 5 films I think you should know about.
Okay, all right.
And of course, Claudia, we need to talk about the upcoming Modernism Week that you guys have a show coming up twice.
That's right, the Right to Rock, and we'll talk more about that soon. It's all about Trini Lopez. And we're going to do a little cheers to dry January for those of you out there who may choose to do so. Well, with the Palm Springs International Film Festival in town, let's talk more about movies. I've got a lot on my list for the Film Fest, but you have a very special position for the SAG Awards.
I got very lucky this year. I'm on the SAG nominating committee, which happens once every 8 years for SAG members. This year I got to review probably about 50 or so films in a very short period, so I've been very, very busy.
Between Christmas and New Year's, the camera was rolling at his house.
Keep going. What I'd like to do right now is just really talk about 3 films that I think are going to get into the Best Picture Award category, whether it's for SAG or for the Academy Awards. And then I want to talk about 2 films that I think people missed that they should definitely hear about.
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead and start off, first of all, with a film called Bardot, False Chronicles of a Handful of Truths.
That's a lot.
It's a big name, right? By director Alejandro Inarritu. He's a very very famous director. This film is shot primarily with a fisheye camera. So you see a lot of what's going on around the actor and the actors. It is an amazing directed film, story, choreography, cinematography, set design, everything is just right on here. In this film, I tell people, keep an eye out for the bathroom scene, keep an eye out for the ongoing ballroom scene, and get ready for the climbing the human scene. And leave it at that. You don't want to miss this film, Bardot.
Oh, okay. I was just going to ask, when you said human, I was like, which humans are starring in this?
I'm not going to say. Okay. Just keep that in mind.
All right, Bardot.
So the next film not to be missed is a film coming to us from Germany, up for Best International Film from Germany, called All Quiet on the Western Front. Now this film is by director Edward Berger. This is a true story about the World War I from the German soldier eye. You are inside the trenches. The guy who is the lead actor, I forget what his first name is, Felix, he is amazing. All the actors around him are amazing. The camera work is really good. You really feel like you're inside there. Remember that film?
Kind of like 1917.
Just like,
you're just gripping because you're with them, running through the
same idea.
But I've heard that this is probably the best war movie ever made.
It is definitely one of the good ones. And this one, again, it's out of Germany, and Bardot, which I talked about earlier, is out of Mexico. But I think both of these films could move into the Best Picture category.
You may be able to catch it at the Film Fest. It is there on the roster, although it may be sold out. A lot of them are, but you know.
If you get a chance. Now, the next film is a film I know you want to see, and I think a lot of people have seen already, called Women Talking, directed by Sarah Polley, right?
And Sarah Polley, as we know, won Best Director at the Palm Springs Film Festival,
Correct.
but maybe she'll go on to win.
Who knows? Best Picture, Best Director also.
Yeah.
And I believe the cast also got Best Ensemble recognition at the film festival.
Because it's
also.
amazing. I mean, off the top of my head, I can think of Claire Foy and Rooney Mara, but
There are, I think, 7 women who are the main leads in this, but it's all about women. It's about a story that is actually true, which is very sad. The dialogue is terrific. The subjects that they're talking about are terrific. And there's a gentleman who plays the recorder of what they're talking about, who should probably be up for Best Supporting Actor.
Oh.
This is an amazing film. I don't know what I thought it was going to be when I saw it. It's something completely different, and it's well worth it.
well, and they're stuck
Women
in
Talking.
women talking. They're stuck in a religious cult somehow, and they could.
I don't want to say
somehow.
too much, because you want to experience the film. Really good. All right? So our last 2 films are films that I can tell you have already missed, because they've either been out in limited run or they were already out and people aren't really talking about them.
Oh.
But listen to these films because you want to catch them. The first one is a very independent film called To Leslie. It's by director Michael Morris. Now, the leading actress, her name is Andrea Riseborough, I believe it is. She plays Leslie. She is a mother.
Andrea Riseborough?
Andrea Riseborough. Do you know who that is?
British actress, yes.
This is her movie to be
I
the biggest
love
star.
her.
Wait to see this one. She plays a alcoholic mother who comes into something and then loses that something and then loses a lot more as she goes along. It is a beautifully done film. It's very independent. So you kind of, I started thinking, well, I guess this is going to be good. And then you were into what she's about. The gentleman who plays her son is so quiet and reserved in the feelings that he has going on.
Oh.
It's just a beautifully done film. It's called To Leslie. Hopefully it will be out again.
Is it T.O., like as in a letter
That's right,
to
that's
Leslie
right,
or
that's
talking
right.
to Leslie?
Exactly.
Okay.
Terrific film.
Ooh.
And then the last one is something very unique. Also was out, I think it came out in October, called Triangle of Sadness. Now,
We're watching that tonight.
this is one odd film. Just think of Gilligan's Island and that whole, the minnow stuck on an island. Now, that's a comedy.
This is
very
sad.
much a drama. And it's about pretty people, rich people, white people who suddenly have to come into association with people maybe not in that class. And I want to tell you, there is a scene in a luxury cruise that goes on for, it feels like 20 minutes. It's not that long, but it is so, you cringe during it because it's just something that happens. I don't want to give it away. It's called Triangle of Sadness. Do not miss it.
So you're not laughing, you're more crying, or you're more laughing at the people that are crying?
Yes, it's a terrific film. Okay, Claudia, let's jump from watching movies to making things. All right? It's because you were over at the Cathedral City Art District over on Perez Road speaking to the folks from Makerville at Studio H, right? You were there? Tell us all
That's
about
right.
that.
Studio H stands for Hovels, those Hovels, and we all know and love them here in Palm Springs. And Deborah Hovel has a new medium she's working with, and it's beautiful. It's jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
I know, and you should see. And they're beautiful pieces. We're going to learn how she actually makes this, how she makes the jewelry come to life, along with. She's been known for as a shoe designer.
Which are some pretty cool shoes in this one.
Many years, really cool. I love them. I own a cool pair myself.
And some great fashion.
Exactly. From indigenous people, fabric from indigenous people. Let's have a look.
Let's have a look.
Well, this is going to be a really creative show because we are here at Studio H with one of the H's. Maybe we'll see two of those Hovels. Deborah Hovel.
Hi, Claudia.
Hi, how are you? And
I'm
this
great.
is your new digs. This is great.
We're so excited, and it's giving us an opportunity to do virtually everything we did at Makerville,
Yes.
but 10 minutes from our front door.
So smart.
Yeah.
So great. Okay. And, well, I don't actually recall at Makerville you doing jewelry to this
Jewelry
extent.
is actually a new medium for me because I wanted to do something that was smaller and I could be around Richard more when he was doing his rehab. And now he's rehabilitated and I have found a new love. So I'm continuing.
Tell us about your process here.
Okay, so the process of doing these kinds of things is done with precious metal clay, which is a clay product. Different manufacturers provide a clay that's metal filings in a clay-like base.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you can see what it is. This is bronze, and it's just brown, and it's metal embedded in this clay product. You roll it out to shape, and you make something out of it. You can file it, you can do a bunch of things. Once it's dried and you've gotten it to have the finish you want, you put it in the kiln and you fire it like pottery. All of the clay carrier burns away and you're left with solid metal rings. But you can see in this box here, I've got all kinds of different charms that I've made. And I put things on the back to make a bolo or a buckle for a pair of shoes I'm going to make. But there are a wide variety of different kinds of things. I just make it up. There was a LACMA show that was really inspirational for me on some pre-Columbian art.
Okay.
And that's when all these little faces started to appear.
Yeah, it does have that feel. Yeah.
So I use those to put charms on a lot of these bracelets.
I adore these. And so these are ready-made, or does someone come to you and say?
You know, I am a production person, so I just dove in and started making things.
Yeah, as you can see here.
Yeah.
Whoa, you really are.
It's quite fun. I can't stop myself, and Richard can attest to it. I just start making. There's no client in mind. It's like whatever I like and whatever I would wear. And like I would wear, 3, 4, 5 bracelets on each arm.
You're not involved in the art walk, which is first Fridays here.
We don't generally do that. We may down the road.
We're on
but we
Perez
haven't.
Road, yeah.
Yeah. But we are doing Desert Open Studios in March.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
and we're
right.
going to have a number of wonderful artists here. Joining me in jewelry making will be Julie Kavnar, who's a wonderful artist.
Fantastic.
Robin Abrahams, who is doing beautiful holograph prints.
Yes, I heard that.
And Robert Webster, who does architectural construction.
Right. Yeah, the beautiful shadow boxes of mid-century homes.
With any luck, Richard will have some of his acrylic boxes here as well.
Well, I just saw he must be working on something here.
He's working on something.
Something over here, so
Yeah.
we'll have to tune into that soon. Here we are at the kiln.
We are, and it's not as large as you might imagine. The pieces are fired in this kiln, which is an electronic kiln, which is pretty cool. So I have charcoal in here, activated coconut husk.
Oh.
I will put the piece in here, and I'll do it with just this one, even though it's been fired. So I take this off, nestle it in here, cover it up with more of this coconut charcoal, and then it is placed in the kiln where it then will cook in this oven for 2 or 3 hours at about 1500 degrees. So once the piece is fired, then I let it cool down and I take it out, and then I polish it by several means. I can use a machine polisher, or I can tumble it much like rocks are tumbled in steel shop.
Just to hone it down so you can actually
it gets it shiny.
wear it or get it shiny.
When it comes out of here, it has kind of a gray finish or a dull finish.
So we are now in the back workroom, and there is a lot going on, starting with fashion.
Yes.
Deborah, tell us about these beautiful fabrics and what you're doing.
I call these feral fashions, and not out of any disrespect. What I'm trying to do is celebrate female artisans who made their everyday clothes and hand wove and embroidered all these beautiful things. And every one of these is from a different tribe or a different area. And you can see how they vary. So everybody in the area knew the artisans that did this kind of work, the artisans that did this kind of work, this and this and this. So they're all different, which I just find amazing. But I collect them and then I put them together in combinations that make me happy. And again, I don't know who the client is, but occasionally someone will buy one that's ready-made, and occasionally I will make them for someone. But I also do workshops with the jewelry
that's
and
right.
with the Feral fashion.
Just
and,
like Makerville.
Yeah.
So
and
is there
also-
a schedule for your workshops now?
No, I
Okay.
used to do that, and then I would have a hard time filling classes because everybody's busy, right? So now I just say, get a group of your friends together and
Yeah.
contact me, and then we find a date, and that works better.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And now now we're looking down at shoe lasts.
These are
and
shoe lasts.
gorgeous shoes here.
I have I have pretty much quit doing custom shoes for most people, but some people that I've made shoes for before for years, I continue to do shoes for them. And I run shoemaking and sandal workshops, which
Yes,
is,
I have friends that have actually done that.
Yeah.
And just fantastic.
and if you want to do that, that's great fun.
Yeah.
These are some custom shoes I'm doing for a kind of a fashionista friend of mine who's
those
bought
are
shoes from me for
stunning.
many years. So this is hair on cowhide, and the soles are not finished, but they're all leather soles, leather heels. And this is a cowhide combo boot for hiking around New York in the winter.
Of course,
Yeah.
as you do. And we are wearing
Yes.
women's. These are
Yes, we
beautiful.
are.
Look at us.
Yeah.
Oh, Deborah, I love these so much, and those are so festive.
Oh, thank you.
Deborah, thank you
thank
so
you.
much. This was enlightening, to say the
Good.
least.
Well, you'll have to come back and learn how to make some.
I would love to. All
Wonderful.
right. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Claudia, we need to go make some jewelry.
Let's do it. I know. Or do you
She's-
want to make shoes?
But we'll do everything.
Yeah, head
They
to
are-
toe.
She is very talented.
Yes, absolutely. And you saw Richard there too.
Good to see him, of course.
Amazing. And the next piece that we do on those hovels will be on Richard and his work, because his sculptures, you can only see a touch of it, but he is brilliantly at work, well past his rehab, and this is just his natural talent. He's always been an artist. Can't wait to
Good to see
see
you
his
back,
new
Richard.
creations. Yeah. Well, cheers, Conrad. Cheers to dry January. And cheers to all of you out there, should you choose to go that route. It's very healthy.
Amen. Amen to that.
Yeah, and what do you serve your guests that don't drink? We're going to talk all about this in a future episode. We'll even be doing a tasting of all the non-alcoholic options, the de-alcoholized, sparkling options.
Which is what I'm
Delicious.
drinking. All delicious. Cheers, everybody. Happy New
Cheers!
Year.
Happy New Year!
And this is a reminder that February is around the corner, which means Modernism Week, which means you need to go to Right to Rock.
The Right to Rock, the Trini Lopez immersive musical. We have 2 dates, February 17th and 24th.
Can't wait.
Go to modernismweek.com, get your tickets, and you will have a blast with everything Trini Lopez, with the GAM Band, the Dreamboats, and us. And I'm Nancy Sinatra.
And we'll see you there.